What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And man, did I have a terrible nightmare the other night. Okay, so get this. I'm dreaming, and I'm in the Beetlejuice house, right? So, hey, I got to go up to the attic. I want to check out the model of the town. Mm-hmm. And while I'm up there, I'm like, wonder if I say his name 3 times, if I can get Michael Keaton to come out of here and sign some cards for me. I'm going to make a lot of money off of that. But then I only had Batman cards. And then I started to get all worried. Well, what if I call Michael Keaton out here and he won't sign the Batman cards? And, I finally work up enough courage. I do it. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And poof, right there in front of me, these 2 guys. Joe Day and EP Eric Bahalik. You knew where that was going.
I knew it.
We got there in a fun and entertaining way. How you doing, boys?
Real decayed and like Beetlejuicy.
Yeah.
You had makeup on. Your hair was all over. You were talking funny.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's own Michael Keaton, by the way. Love Michael Keaton.
I know that.
I tried to get you an autograph card, but
I showed up instead, which is
I know. Didn't really work.
Did you watch the second one yet? Has anyone watched the second one?
I haven't seen it yet.
Is it good?
It's Beetlejuicy.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if I call it good, but sometimes movies like that don't have to be good to be entertaining. Correct. So it was entertaining.
I wanted to go see it, and I was trying to talk Rob into going to see it, and he goes, "Well, I never saw the first one." So I played the clip of Michael Keaton, them meeting Beetlejuice for the first time, right? Which is 5 minutes of just hilarity. Like, it's unbelievable. And he's just sitting there not laughing or anything. And I go, "Didn't you think that was funny?" He goes, "I have zero context of what I just saw. I had never seen a movie before." So I'm like, all right, that makes sense.
I did watch the first movie last night. So maybe that's why I had that dream about you guys popping up.
Such a great movie. We're Beetlejuice cards. We need Beetlejuice cards. Do they have Beetlejuice cards?
Not that I know of.
Rittenhouse. Get on that. That feels like a Rittenhouse product. Rittenhouse.
Call up Steve Chernoff.
I'll call up my buddy Steve.
With some relics, some Beetlejuice like suit and stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
That would be very, very cool. Now I'm sad.
That's it. That's the podcast.
Well, I made myself a drink, so we might as well keep going.
Oh, darn. Okay. We'll keep going. One of these weeks, so I'm getting out of here.
We're just done at the end of 15. EP, we talked last week. Mike fell asleep during it. We talked last week about mezcal. Mm-hmm. So I have myself a little mezcal mule.
I was going to ask, what's in it? What is it?
Yes, so it is it's 2 ounces of mezcal. It's a little bottle of ginger beer and a couple of splashes of lime. Here we are.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
it's refreshing AF. It's really
I've
good.
never had one, but that sounds really good.
You like it with vodka. You like the Moscow Mule. Yeah, I'll make you a Moscow. You like vodka. I'll make you a Moscow Mule.
Okay,
they're very refreshing.
I'm having a beverage too. So
I find it funny that Joe has graduated from drinking beer on a Monday morning before he goes to work to drinking hard alcohol.
Hard liquor.
Yeah. Okay.
He starts drinking it straight, like just double straight.
That's the next step. Yep.
All right. I got to pull the curtain just in case anyone at work is watching. This is not Monday morning, I swear.
It totally is. Go back all the way to episode 1. We've been doing this on Monday morning.
Yeah, we go.
Live.
We go live to recorded, like live in the morning, and then later.
I can tell you all the scores from yesterday's football game. In case you have them DVR'd, we don't.
Right.
Also, before we get going, I had a couple of packages delivered, and I wanted to open them up before we started today. So
how are you getting fan mail?
Well, no, one's not fan mail. One is something I paid for. Also, why wouldn't I? Of course. Come on.
Why would
everyone loves a little Joe Day in their life? All right. So this is actually something I bought. I traded a little bit for it, a little cash, little card trade with a buddy of mine up in Canada. And the reason I am showing it to you guys is I think EP would really, really like this card. It is a Star Trek card, but I think EP would like it. Very nice. I love when they use this as a little Ziploc bag action here. All right.
Keeps them from getting wet.
It does. And here it is.
Oh, wow.
Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan.
Yeah.
But Mike, you're shaking your head, but it's a Benedict Cumberbatch autograph. That's one of my, you can see Doctor Strange behind me, obviously, but yeah, he was in Star Trek, kids. A lot of people don't know that, but he played Khan. Not a very good version of Khan, but I wanted to get a Benedict Cumberbatch autograph. So there we go. That came in the mail today or Saturday. All right. So that was just a little fun side journey. The real, I guess, entree to this is our buddy Brent Heintzelman, who is a faithful audio podcast listener, tricked me and sent me a book. Okay. And then he said, I actually have something to send to you for real this time. I'm like, okay. And he didn't tell me when he was going to do it. And it was the UPS notification came up that something was getting delivered. And I looked where it was coming from. It was coming from Florida. I'm like, if he sent me another effing book, I was so worried it was going to be another. But he goes, no, this is a card this time. Because I did message him. I'm like, I'm going to open it live on the channel. There's not like porn in here or anything, is there? And he said, no. I go, okay, good. Just have to, Mike had to double check. Oh, wow. I have one already, but I'll take this.
Hey.
Wow. Yeah, nice.
There it is. Curtis Martin.
I know where you got the other one from.
Yes. Yes, I never bought one. How cool is that? That is so cool. Curtis Martin signature rookies autograph. That's a bold auto too. That auto looks great in his pit uniform. Oh my god, I love it.
It's a really clean auto. Yeah, that big.
That is auto, really nice. And these were one per pack you could pull an auto, and there were like 30 packs in a box or something like that. Like these to get like a good autograph was pretty tough, but. There you get a little sticker on the back to prove it's authentic, I guess.
Brent did a really good job writing Curtis Martin's name on it.
Yeah, Brent, good job, buddy. Way to fill that auto out for me. It's probably streaky, and Brent's like, no, we can't give Joe Day a streaky auto. I'll fill it in myself. But yes, thank you so much, Brent. You've given numerous things to the folks on this channel. We really appreciate it. If anyone else wants to give us things, we're open to that.
I have to say, audio podcast listeners, their gift game is much higher than the video podcast.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Pick up your game. And if you're watching, hit the subscribe button because we're closing in on 1,500.
So close. We are so close.
Yeah. So if you're watching, you found us, you're not somehow subscribed yet, hit that subscribe.
What are you doing?
Hit the like button.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment letting us know you did it so we know who actually did.
Yeah.
Send us gifts, send us money, cars, whatever.
We should set up a PO box or something.
You guys don't need to send us gifts and cards. But speaking of that, I also got something in the mail myself from Tyler Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody else not to send anything since I didn't get anything and you both have something. Okay.
Thank you, Tyler. That's awesome. Ken Griffey Jr. SPX, the hologram.
Okay, that's it, Tyler. So, guess what? You're not getting the Harvey Williams autograph card that I have sitting here for you. And it's sitting on a stand too, so I don't forget it.
Now, you're totally going to forget that card. But to be fair, Mike, you did get a 89 Upper Deck Griffey rookie from
I've gotten quite a few cards. Like, I don't know why people are nice and just send this.
I know.
And like makes me uncomfortable.
And like some of them are like Star Trek cards. And Mike's like, oh, that's cool. They sent me some Star Trek cards.
I don't know sure they weren't that, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure they weren't for you.
I got a Manu Ginobili too from Rick McKee. And oh man, I got others too, and I'm forgetting people now. I feel
the one time EP and I get something, Mike loses his mind.
Yeah, I do.
I have a quick story before we get started into the main show.
We're not getting started yet. Trust me.
Okay, all right.
I got a thing.
Well, you want to do your thing first?
No, go ahead.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
save it for last. Yeah.
Okay. So anyhow, I listed like 150 cards on eBay this week. I used Card Dealer Pro in my scanner for the first time since July.
Oh.
And in the process, I forgot to do waivers for fantasy football on Tuesday. I almost forgot to put my lineups in on Thursday, but I did do that at work at the very last minute. I remembered at the last minute. So, yeah, so I was, I had to sacrifice the fantasy football stuff for cards, but I was able to get some cards listed.
To be fair, is it much of a sacrifice? I've seen most of your teams.
Yeah. You hate waivers anyway. Any reason you can find to forget about waivers, you'll do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you hate fantasy football. I'm convinced. Totally. Yeah. I will make one more point before you do your little life altering story, I think, Mike. How about Pitt didn't play on Saturday. They were idle this week, which was good. And speaking of fantasy football, Rob's like, I sense that you're going to put all the stress that you have on Saturdays into football on Sunday. And I said, yes, I can already sense that. I was already stressed out about a lineup decision I forgot to make because of the 9:30 games. So yes, all the pitch stress is now been transferred to my fantasy football stress. So look out today, boys. Watch out. Put me on mute. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, if you want to alleviate some stress, watch my retail rip video. My Can You Make Money Ripping Retail? You probably can't. But this week,
what's the answer on that one?
It was 2023 Mosaic Basketball, just 1 megabox. Not going out anything crazy this week, but make sure you check that out. And, follow me on Twitter. Football Mania starts tomorrow night. You don't want to miss this. Tuesday is tomorrow, right? Because it's Monday and we're recording on Monday morning.
Yes,
we've established that. That's
let me break right before work.
Make sure you check out my Football Mania sale. But I found out, I apologize, this is not card related, but maybe I can help some people with this story that I have, because I found out about something this week called predatory towing. Predatory towing. Whatever.
Yes.
Okay. So last week, Amy was on her way to see the kids and she got into an accident on I-76 outside of Philadelphia. She's okay. The car was smashed up a little bit on the front, and a tow truck stopped by like right away, picked her up, helped her out, took her where she needed to go, and they took it to the tow yard. Well, from Monday on, our insurance has been trying to get the car out of the tow yard.
Oh, God.
And they would not release it. They know that the insurance companies can only stay on hold for a certain amount of time. So when the insurance companies call, they put them on hold and just leave them there till they hang up so they can bill extra days. Plus, this place charges $500 just to take the car in and $500 processing to let it out. It was for, what was it, Friday through Wednesday, it was like a $4,300 bill. Jesus. They were charging to have this car sitting in their lot. And the insurance person was telling us, yes, this is a thing that some of these places do. We deal with it all the time. And finally we did get the car out there, but just a little, I had no idea this was a thing, that people just drove around waiting for wrecks so they could do this to screw people over. Now I do. And thankfully our insurance is paying for all that stuff. But I even reported them to the state because this is something our governor here has started cracking down on. So and if you're out there, make sure you call your insurance company, your roadside assistance, whatever, and do it through that. Don't just let somebody pick you up. So lesson learned. But I never knew this was a thing. Like the scammers in this hobby, there are scammers everywhere.
I was going to say, this is card related, Mike. There are scammers everywhere. You know, full circle. I feel like John Oliver has probably done a story on this. Like, this feels like something that Last Week Tonight would cover. Kind of crazy when you think about it. I was going to say the lesson of the day: make sure you have a AAA membership. Like, that's That might be the
thing was there. Like the tow truck was there right away, and like Amy was shook up from the crash and everything and what was going to happen. So like she thought it was a good thing, and that's why they do that, so they can get you taken care of before you even know what's going on. And you don't sign anything. They don't tell you what it's going to cost. They just take your car and then don't let you have it back.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just have this traumatic experience, and then it seems like there's this bright, shining bright thing that, oh my gosh, thank you for the help, and it was actually not the help. Yeah, it's the opposite.
So there you go. That is our PSA for this week.
Oh, see, card related again.
Speaking of PSA, that leads into our first story of this week. GameStop is going to become a group submissions for PSA. This is crazy. They're doing $15.99 for trading card games up to $200, only $19.99 for sports cards up to a declared value of $500, and they're only charging you a flat fee of $4.99 for shipping and free if you're one of the GameStop Pro members. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is like this is so good that I almost feel like I should take my cards. If you have a 20-30 card order, instead of paying all the shipping and insurance on it, why wouldn't you take it to GameStop and have them submit it for you? Am I crazy for thinking this is a good thing? Like, are they going to screw me somehow, like the tow trucks, or they're going to not give me my cards back when they come in? What's happening? What is the catch?
So this would be my fear with the GameStop thing. Remember, GameStop was practically out of business a hot minute ago, and then all the folks went in and started buying that. Remember that whole GameStop thing? Like, my fear with a store like this is that it goes under at some point, which I could totally see happening. And then they just have your cards, or your cards aren't paid for through PSA. Wasn't that something that's happened to actual folks, group submitters who didn't have the money to pay PSA and they couldn't get the cards back? So my thing is, I'm always going to side or err on the side of caution when it comes to submissions. I'm always going to be the one to submit them because I know that I can pay for them and I don't want a third party involved. But I'm also cheap. And shipping and insurance is so expensive. I don't know. I don't think you're crazy, Mike, but I'm a nervous Nelly, so I could totally see myself freaking out until the cards were completely back into my hands.
I agree 100% that with both of you. I feel like this is a great deal. I would love to be able to take advantage of it. And I also feel like when it comes to group submitters, a company like this is going to be more professional about it, I would think, than a lot of other, if someone, just some random person you send to. I mean, in theory, they have employees.
In theory, yes.
In theory, employees would handle this stuff, and the shipping would be handled correctly. All that sort of stuff. There wouldn't be any sort of issues in that regard, and they wouldn't steal your money and go out of business like some of the members. So we had some card submitters who did that, where they were using that money to pay for stuff, and then ended up being bankrupt or whatever. You like to think that GameStop wouldn't happen to them, or there would at least be a way to recoup your money and your cards and stuff at the if something were to happen. But the price is too good to ignore, though. Really, it's crazy. And I mean, this is GameStop again doing weird stuff, like selling trading cards and taking PSA, selling PSA cards, just doing a bunch of weird stuff.
Being a PSA, buying cards now instead of games, which is kind of crazy. The one thing I'll push back on a little bit, EP, is the idea that they'll handle the shipping well. They're not card people. Generally, I would suspect, unless they're hiring someone who happens to also be a card collector, I'm not 100% sure that they would handle the shipping well. I would hope that they basically I hope they basically just take your box of cards and just put them into a bigger box of cards. But then for their sake, they should be looking at the cards to make sure that they're the cards that are on the sheet. So then you can't come back on them. Right. So in essence, they would have to pack and ship them. And I don't know if I trust random GameStop employees to do that. So that would be my concern from the shipping packaging aspect. But everything else you said is true. They should not go out of business. They should have the money to get the cards. But then a business like that, it's such an old style way business. It's Best Buy, right? I mean, how much further away from Best Buy is it?
It is, but they also have an online marketplace where they sell games and stuff like that too. So I mean, in theory,
I meant Blockbuster, by the way. I'm sorry, I meant Blockbuster.
Blockbuster said Best Buy.
Yeah. I said Best Buy. I meant Blockbuster.
So is this an offshoot of them hiring people for the PSA side of it? Like, if we're already going to be having, like, if we're already going to be buying slabs from people, taking slabs, like, this is probably an offshoot of that, where they have these people who are kind of familiar with it, at least familiar with it, coming in here now doing this part of it too, right? They probably suggested it. Yeah.
And I just looked it up too. If you don't have a bulk order, it's $25, $24.99 to send in the value, and they're charging $19.99. So if you have 10 cards, you're saving $50 just in the grading fees right there, and the shipping on top of that. That's it's crazy. One thing, it feels like this, if it gets integrated everywhere, because I don't think they're doing it in Pennsylvania or where we are yet. I think that started in a couple states with the card stuff. But if it rolled out to all their stores, like, that's going to hurt all those people that are doing the group submissions. Like, why would you go to a card shop other than if they're giving you a service where they're pre-grading your cards? I understand, but I don't know. There are people out there that do that, but I would never trust somebody else's judgment on my card over my own, because at the end of the day, that's my card. I'm looking it over. I want to be the one ultimately responsible for whether it got a good grade or a bad grade. So I don't want to trust somebody else with that. But
I mean, if you're a group submitter, why don't you just take the group submission to GameStop, right?
You could. Absolutely.
Oh no, yeah, these 500 cards are all mine.
Now the group submitters, I suspect, do get probably a similar deal. They're charging you more. They probably get the deal that GameStop gets, but then they're just putting a premium for you to get them to, So I'd love to know what PSA actually charges group submitters per card, because it's clearly it's not, what did you say, $15.99 for TCG or $19.99 or whatever. Like, GameStop's probably not charged that amount, obviously, to make it worth their while. So I'm wondering if there are tiers of group submitters that get better deals than others. We just talked about a group submitter who fought for I'd rather have that group submitter who fought for their customer getting a PSA 10 than I would GameStop, to be fair. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I could see the appeal, but I think we're all kind of the same type of person, where we want to be the ones kind of like overseeing our cards and the process that it goes through. I don't think I'd ever use a group submitter. I don't submit enough anyway. Mike would be my group submitter at this point, because I don't have a PSA membership anymore. But I guess there's a reason to do it. There's definitely a reason financially to do it.
Yeah, Mike is my group submitter. Like, I don't have an account with them at all, so I've always gone. I mean, I've gone through Joe a couple times as well, and but yeah, I've submitted a bunch of times through Mike, because he is my group submitter.
And the hours and hours I have to wait for the FedEx guy to show up so I can sign that. Yeah, I don't know. Think of how many. They will by far be the biggest group submitter if this is rolled out across country, where all their stores. I did not have GameStop becoming a player in the card market on my bingo card for 2024. And this is just mind blowing to me. Like when it came out, they were going to get into cards and buy cards. I knew they weren't going to pay much. I didn't care at all about that. But seeing this and like that I don't know, does it cost something to be a pro member? I don't know, but like, if you join that, you get free shipping. Like, that could, if you're somebody who does a decent amount of grading, think of the money you would save, like, in a year's time by doing that, and the advantage you would have in the marketplace if your card doesn't have the shipping and insurance return fee to be added into it. Like, you can sell a lot of like $30 and $40 cards and make a lot of profit on that other people aren't going to be able to get to that price and make the same profit, because they submitted it themselves. And it just, I have to say, I'm intrigued by it. I definitely wouldn't give them something good, but I do feel like if it starts around here, I have to try it. Maybe give them 5 or 10 cards and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's a really good point about not giving them something good. I think at that point, like if it's $1,000 card or maybe even like a $500 card, I feel like you would submit that yourself. You would feel comfortable, and you're going to get upcharged through them anyway. So then, what would be the point? So this would be for bulk stuff, right? So I mean, if you're doing it for bulk stuff, it would be, first off, video that whole process if you do it. Where is the nearest state? Out of curiosity, did they have a listing of states? I'm just curious if like Ohio, because maybe I'll pick up some of your cards in when I'm home for Thanksgiving, and then just drive them out to Ohio. That'd be hilarious.
That would be
to see if the GameStop is taking them. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Mike. Bulk makes it really, really interesting because you're working on such tight margins. Like EP stuff he had just gotten back, kind of working on those margins where you have to pay for shipping too, not cheap. The insurance really kills you too.
I was thinking that too. Like my orders, while Mike looks this up, I'll keep talking here. Well, my orders are a lot of those kinds of cards where they're $1 card or a $5 card or something like that. So if you get a 10, you're only looking like a $35, $40, $50 card, maybe if it gets a 10. And so like the little bit of savings you can get from using GameStop would be really, really great. Do we think that if they rolled it out when they roll it out nationwide, does that affect the PSA's grading numbers? Because I mean, I feel like this would probably increase grading. I think a lot of people would take advantage. Anybody who knew about it, was doing grading, would probably take it. Not everybody, but a lot of people would take advantage of it, I think.
Boy, I'm looking up on their website. If I do a search it gives me the Buckhorn store right here. I don't know if I'm looking under the card section and it brings that up. Now, I don't know if they actually do it or not, but I can't find anything that says for sure. But something. But yeah, back to your question, EP. Like this is smart by PSA because they're going to get thousands and thousands of cards every month, tens of thousands, I'm sure, because you're probably going to get some people too that maybe never considered grading that might do it, especially with trading card games. I don't, they do sell like Pokemon cards and stuff like that. So I don't think you're going to have a lot of people that are ripping like football cards and thinking GameStop is where I need to go do this. But there might be a lot of new people with the trading card and trading card game end of this that, really bumps their numbers up. Like, they wouldn't be doing it if they didn't think it was going to be good for them. PSA I'm talking about. So I'm sure it will be, but yeah, it's crazy. I'm not surprised that there is a big company that is doing group submissions, but I'm incredibly surprised that GameStop is the direction that went in.
Yep. I was going to make that point too. It's like, talk about a survivor. In the, like GameStop's like, hey, we got to do something. We know people aren't going to just come in here and buy video games in 5 years or whatever, with being able to download the games or, buying them off of Amazon, things like that. So we've got to do something different. This is something different. I applaud them for that. It's really, really a smart way to, again, try and survive. And I wouldn't be surprised, a year from now, if this goes well, I wouldn't be surprised if they have deals on video game grading. Like, why is that not? Like, that should be. I'm surprised it isn't going on now. Like you would think that, because I believe PSA does have a video grading arm already. Or if not, we know BGS does. I know we make fun of BGS, but they're one of the leaders in video game grading as well. I mean, make another deal for that. I mean, that seems like a natural fit to me.
Yeah, and I feel like also one of the other things is if you're already a GameStop Pro member and you've had even an inkling in your brain of getting anything graded ever, like this is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of it and just send it in like that. I mean, it's really, really amazing. Like, I mean, on GameStop's part, it's like you said, Joe, they're just like a cockroach that just keep hanging around forever.
We are one step closer to literally everything we own being professionally graded, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, obviously.
Again, I'm waiting for the grades, the slabs to be graded. I'm going to get my PSA slab graded by PSA or whatever. That's what I'm waiting for. Slab within a slab.
I would not be surprised at all. Oh, well, not being surprised, Brian Gray announced that he will help organize the Trading Card Hall of Fame. it's going to be an online Hall of Fame, and with some of the prominent figures in the hobby, apparently they're going to start reaching out to voters. I don't know who the voters are going to be. Do you think it'll be us?
Did you
Brian will reach out to us?
Did you get called yet, Mike? I thought maybe
I haven't gotten a call yet. Did you get a call? You got a call. You didn't get a call.
No, not yet.
I don't know.
I have no comment.
Well, no comment? Okay.
No comment.
NDAs are a bitch.
That no is a yes. I know it.
No, knowing what Brian had said on the Jeff Wilson interview, Joe, do you wanna take the low-hanging fruit here? I'll let you have it. You can have it.
There's so many things I want to say, but I will take the low-hanging fruit. He did say, "Oh, this is going to get me into the Sports Card Hall of Fame. This idea that I have is going to get me into the Sports Card Hall of Fame." And I'll tell you what, I'm starting to hold on, guys. I gotta put the conspiracy hat on. I think I have to put the conspiracy hat on. This is getting ridiculous. So
oh my God, we're props.
So I think
Joe wins this week. Joe wins this week.
The Sports Card Hall of Fame to get himself in the Sports Card Hall of Fame. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you must, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
And
for the audio listeners, you gotta watch this week's episode, man. Audio listeners, please, if you're gonna watch any episode.
What, do you think I'm wrong, EP? Come on, stop laughing at me. Do you think I'm wrong on this? This is ridiculous that you're making fun of my conspiracy theory.
No, your conspiracy is correct. No, your conspiracy is great. It's your
Wow. That might be the greatest play ever on this podcast.
Yes, well done, sir.
Bravo. Well done.
Thank you. This is ridiculous. I'm going to take it off now.
If I don't make that into a short, I'm doing something wrong.
Let me put the real hat on now.
Your head looks so much bigger now.
So let me tell the story real quick. I'm watching Pitt last week, and there are these idiot kids in the student section wearing those. I go, what is that? I need that. And I looked it up, and they were available on Dick's Sporting Goods. I had a gift card. I'm not going to tell you how much that cost because it's ridiculous for that little segment there. But I bought it. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing for a conspiracy theory. And I even had to stretch for this one because I'm like, I can't go another week without doing this hat thing. But yeah, there it is. There it is, boys.
Anytime the conspiracy theory comes up again, you have to wear the hat.
Oh, it's over. It's got a spot now. Okay, it's like Lee Corso picking his pick on game day,
awesome.
Putting on the mascot.
When you said you're gonna put your helmet on and you went like this, and I was like, oh, I know what's coming. But then you did this, and then you took your hat off, and I'm like, what is going on? And then there it is.
There it is.
Amazing.
For all its glory. Back on
to
topic.
Brian Gray.
I will make one more quick joke about this whole situation. I was going to text you guys this, but I wanted to save it for the pod. Arthur Blank got a lot of crap last week about putting himself in the Ring of Honor, the Falcons Ring of Honor. Everyone made fun of him. It's like, well, I wonder who got to pick that. I'm guessing this is the reason Brian Gray started this, because he feels he's some sort of Hall of Famer in the sports card hobby.
I don't know.
I'm not saying he's not.
I'm not. That might be an incorrect statement saying he started. He's going to help organize it. Yes. So. Yeah. He's going to help organize. I don't even know what that was.
That was a Rob sneeze right there. All sorts of things happened this week.
No, should have left the viewers in suspense. We didn't know what it was. Sounded like a hyena was about to attack. Wow.
Oh, off the rails. EP, get us back on the rails.
Yeah. So, I mean, Brian Gray, I'm not going to say that he deserves to be in, but I do love the idea of the whole thing. Sorry about that. Racetrack's going off again. So I love the idea of the whole thing, because
Brian Gray rushing to vote himself into the Hall of Fame.
He writes
my
himself into
goodness.
every ballot every year.
Oh, he does.
I mean, but if you think about the people in this hobby, like Jim Beckett, you think about the people who started upper deck, people who started tops. Like there should be I love the thought of a trading card Hall of Fame. I just hope it doesn't turn into some
Popularity contest.
Yeah. The thought of these people, these icons. Dick Perez, the guy who did the Diamond Kings art. Like there are people that deserve to be in the Trading Card Hall of Fame, and I love the idea of it. And so hopefully it turns into that and not the other thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not a huge fan of Hall of Fames other than like sports Hall of Fames. I don't know. This hobby seems to be very self-congratulatory at times. And I do agree at the same time, if they're going to have one EP, I hope it's the right people, the people who, led companies and did really important things.
Kramer.
Yeah, it's not just a way for the old boys network in this hobby to congratulate themselves and go, "Oh, look at us! I'm a Hall of Famer now." It's like you're in an online Hall of Fame. Like, I don't know. I hope it doesn't end up being influencers and big name hobby and people like Gary V who came into the hobby and got out of the hobby. And I don't know. I guess I need to reserve judgment, but I'm skeptical at best that this will be filled with the right people.
Well, hopefully it's similar to like the Baseball Hall of Fame, where you have to wait a certain amount of time to get in or something like that. Like, and I don't want to say till after death or anything crazy like that. Like there shouldn't be anybody who isn't like an influencer in 2024 in the Hall of Fame for the first 10 years or something like that. Like it needs to be. What it needs to be is like the Baseball Hall of Fame, where you learn about players like Rogers Hornsby and Jackie Robinson. When you go there, learn about these players, and it should be about that, not about the popularity contest of what's happening right now in the hobby. It should be about the history of the hobby. That's what the Hall of Fame should be. That's what my vision anyway. So
it won't be if Brian Gray's involved, and I'll tell you why. I'm pretty sure during that interview with Jeff Wilson, he referred to himself as like a third, fourth ballot Hall of Famer, but he also referred to Jeff Wilson as a Hall of Famer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
So if that's the case, that's a problem. I don't think influencers shouldn't be in there. Like how often do commentators get into the Hall of Fame? It's not often. There are some that do, but it's not often. It should be few and far between. It has to be someone who legitimately made a change to the game. This is not what Jeff Wilson does. Is not changing the game. It just isn't. And that's what's frustrating. I will say, there's definitely going to be a set of cards, right? They're going to make themselves a Hall of Fame set of cards, right?
Made by Leaf,
like
maybe.
Maybe by Leaf. Actually, I was just thinking independently made, but okay, yeah, Leaf makes a lot of sense. Actually, we're not going to get that.
No. That's two Hall of Fames we'll never get in now.
Well, again, we should like a Hall of Fame. Like the influencers eventually should get in because influencers are a big part of the hobby right now. But they shouldn't be in for like multiple years. Like I really think
shouldn't be in unless they stay in the hobby and they contribute to the hobby for a period of time. Come on. Like, yes, we aren't influencers. We're just three idiots that have a show on the internet. That's what all those other people are too. They started here too. We're just people giving opinions and we're doing it on video. It's nothing special. We're not, what are we really contributing? Not to disparage our own show, but like we're here more for entertainment, a little bit to inform people and to give them a little bit of fun. Hopefully they watch us and they enjoy listening to us. We're not being historical figures in this hobby. It's just, that's why like, unless they do something that's really important in the hobby, keep them out, make it legitimate, but it's not, they're not going to be kept out of it. You just know they're not. I will revisit this when they do the voting and they have their first class. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I will gladly say, you know what? This looks a lot better than what I initially had pictured in my head. But for now, I'm really not liking the way I see it pictured because it's the hobby. I know how this hobby is. Like,
you're right.
If they have a chance to do something right, they'll usually do it wrong. It's just, over and over again. You get punched in the face by the hobby, you can kind of expect you're going to get punched in the face. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I agree.
well. Okay, well, speaking of getting punched in the face, fans of cards in Orlando, Florida got punched in the face by Fanatics because they did have to cancel their upcoming big Fanatics Collect show in Orlando, Florida that was scheduled for the beginning of November. They had a press release. They cited, the cleanup and stuff from Hurricane Milton as the reason for it. Seems like a legitimate reason to me. Although, I will say, there have been other events. Yes, can you throw that over to me somehow?
Yeah, do you need the conspiracy hat?
There have been other events going on down there. People that are in the Orlando area said there was minimal damage down there. I saw that from multiple people. Disney World's open. They just had something at the convention center there that had 30,000 people attend. So I don't know. We saw that they canceled the one in Pittsburgh. This one was scheduled for the same weekend as the Dallas card show. So if I were a conspiracy theorist, I would think maybe there's more to this than just the hurricane cleanup. Maybe they were having troubles getting vendors. Maybe they weren't selling as many tickets because there's a long-standing card show going on that maybe drew those people away. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out here to talk about. I'm not saying this is what it is, but maybe it is what it is.
Man, I could have saved my conspiracy hat for this one too, because I'm with you, Mike. I think they saw Dallas card show pulling people away. I think not just vendors, but goers, card collectors who want to go and look. And also, again, Fanatics Fest, while it was as an event, a spectacle, from what I understand, very, very cool. But the card side of it wasn't. The card side of it was kind of lame from the looks of it. It was just a bunch of influencers and high dollar people just trading around bands of $100 bills for pieces of cardboard. I mean, it wasn't an actual card show. So I wouldn't be surprised if they saw that. They saw Dallas was going on. They couldn't get vendors because they were charging how much for Fanatics Fest in New York per table. Obviously, they're going to charge less in Orlando, but they're not going to charge. I bet you they're charging more than Dallas, right?
Probably,
so it wouldn't shock me if they looked at all of that and conveniently could use a tragedy as the reason to not do it. Because to your point, there were events going on down there. And, I could understand, oh, well, it's the travel of everyone getting there and the hurricanes kind of threw that out of whack. But there was an event with, you said 30,000 people. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they had to travel there somehow. So, yeah, it's just a convenient excuse to maybe lick their wounds about how Fanatics Fest went in terms of the card side of it, which I think we can all agree kind of went how we all expected it would. And that's not great,
You hit most of the points I was going to hit. The convenience was the thing. This is the tragedy was like a convenient thing. I'm thinking a little bit less of a conspiracy situation than you guys, but they're very, very convenient that this happened for them right now. You could, like you said, Joe, you could argue the travel and people not wanting to spend egregious amounts of money, on trading cards because of the tragedy and stuff going on. But also people will be coming in from, be flying in there as well. And so I can definitely see the conspiracy side of it, but also I could also see them just not wanting to do it because of what went down there. If because they all have good hearts, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers canceled their game for Monday night, right? Their home game, didn't they?
In the NFL now.
NFL no, they didn't. Oh, so what? 60,000 people are going to get together in Tampa Bay for a football game, but you can't have a card show. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's not a conspiracy anymore. I'm thinking that they're just using it.
That's why I didn't waste the hat on this one. That's why I didn't waste the hat.
I don't need a hat anymore. I just, the more and more I think about it, I think they already canceled one. Why did they cancel the one in Pittsburgh? I think they didn't have the interest.
Hurricane.
They thought
it was the hurricane.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot the hurricane came through.
Well, the thing is, like, I mean, even this one's even worse though, because the Pittsburgh one is so close geographically to New York. But this one is quite a bit farther away. Like, and so like you could think of them getting more people from the southeast to go to it. But yeah.
Well, let us know in the comments. Are we heartless? Are we just being crazy here like usual? Are we out there, or why do you think it's being canceled? Let us know. I want to get that feedback. I'm really interested in seeing what other people think about it, because again, we're just three idiots giving our opinions here. We don't know anything.
Hall of Fame opinions?
No, we are not Hall of Famers.
We're like fourth ballot, maybe?
No. I don't think there are enough ballots that have been made that will ever get us in that Hall of Fame or the YouTube Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that one. No,
that bridge burned.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you think it was the tie? Was it the tie?
I think it was the mocking of the proceedings. Yeah,
it wasn't mocking. I thought
the Robert's Rules of Order.
I thought we were having fun.
I thought we were doing it to be respectful, having our ties.
That's
on.
fair.
Felt like a more important situation than just.
I did have a mallet and a coaster as a gavel, so I don't know. That might have had something to do with it.
That was fantastic, though.
I think I wore a vest.
You did. I think you did.
Oh man. Okay. Well, last week we talked about where would the select first off the line WNBA fall on the Dutch auction. It started at $3,000. I think we came to the conclusion we thought it might end up selling out over $2,000, but we were completely wrong. This thing hit the bargain basement price of $1,312 a box.
Was that the the actual
basement? The floor was $750, so it sold for almost twice what the floor was. Wow.
You said this was NBA? You said NBA, right?
WNBA.
Oh, okay.
It's the Caitlin Clark set.
I was gonna say, like, what are we even joking about here? Like, right. It's a Caitlin Clark set, of course. I'll watch some rips. You know, it's gonna be a big time breaker product. I'll watch rips. I watch baseball rips from time to time, and I think baseball is boring as all get out. So, I know, I gotta support our buddy Dane over at Dynasty Breaks. And he sometimes does baseball, but anyway. We thought 2,000. I even thought maybe even 2,500.
I think we both said 2,500. Yeah,
and we were off on that, but still, I mean, I think we were thinking, this is one of the first like kind of premium products to come out. Select is pretty known for, especially for the different parallels and the different levels. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised it went this slow, and I'm using that in quotes for the folks on the audio pod. But yeah, it's still ridiculous price, but way lower than we thought. EP, half of what we thought it was going to go for.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That me saying that NBA thing earlier was a joke. Like we've all talked about how we think that Caitlin Clark has kind of transformed the WNBA, the thoughts about the WNBA. So I feel like this price actually is almost a steal, like a really good price for this product. Is again,
how many are you getting?
I'm not buying any of it. I guess out of my price range 100%. But if you think about what people are buying, and the chances of getting these Caitlin Clark rookies, and like you said, all the different the tiers and the parallels and stuff, like that's probably a really good price considering where those Clarks will probably sell for. And then again, if she has the effect on the WNBA that we think and hope she might have in the future, like this product could be a really, really cool.
People are watching the WA. I think it's already happened. People are watching the WNBA finals this year. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, no matter what you say, no matter what you try and put on social media, you did not watch the WNBA finals last year. You're full of crap. Don't try and pull it on me. You did not watch them. So I think the fact that people are actually watching them, it's like the front page of ESPN.com. It's like that's what people are talking about. Not the Yankees buying another World Series appearance, but, the WNBA finals. And she's kind of having, and I know she's a much better player, almost the Tim Tebow effect. She's in every commercial WNBA finals. She's not in them, but I see her in the commercials. she's gonna be the Tim Tebow effect, where she's in everything, and that's a good place to be, because financially, I mean, say what you will about him as a player, Tebow brought eyeballs, and I think she's kind of got that effect. It's like the mix of a really great player plus we have to jam her in everything we talk about while she's in the league, and I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, they did a piece on her on 60 Minutes a couple weeks ago, and it was a really cool piece. And she was just shooting her shots from like way far away, like at the logo, like her 3-pointers from the logo. So I mean, it's just wild to think that. I mean, again, this is her first year in a pro, on a pro team, and here she's on 60 Minutes, like she's like Michael Jordan or something like that. She's very much captured America's attention for sure.
My grandfather knows who she is. That's the benchmark. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Wayne Day knows who Caitlin Clark is.
Now, I like to give Panini business advice because they're leaving a lot of money on the table. I had an idea for this product. I think what they should do, and this is totally awful, but keep in mind, like, Panini's probably not going to be around much longer. They got to make as much money as they can.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Do you?
Yeah. Okay. My thinking is, when you do the Dutch auction, you should have levels. Like, starts at 3,000. Once it gets anybody that purchases between 2,500 and 3,000, you get it shipped on this date. Anybody who purchases between 2,000 and 2,500, you get it shipped a week later than that. If you buy it between 1,500 and 2,000, it's another really week later.
That's really good.
And have it like every $500 or whatever, depending on the product, but set it at different increments that you give people the opportunity to pay more to have it first. And I bet this would have sold out over 2,000.
Yes,
if they would have done it.
Yeah,
it probably would have sold out over 2,500 because the FOMO is real, but like, it's kind of like you're using the eBay effect. Like, you're getting the first one out there and letting people pay that higher price for it.
Because they'll be the first one to rip stuff and then grade it and sell it. They'll be able to get it out quicker. So it's a benefit to them as well. Yeah, for sure.
And I might edit this out of the video completely because I'm worried that Fanatics might see this and go,
that is exactly what
that is a brilliant idea. Like,
as you were saying this,
that guy's fault.
As you were saying it, I'm like, oh man, Fanatics is totally going to do that because they care a lot about money. I don't know if you guys caught on to that, but they care a lot about money. What my thought you were going to say, what my thinking was, guarantee a Caitlin Clark numbered card or autograph in every box. I'm kind of surprised in the first off the line they did not do that.
That's a Fanatics thing, though.
Yeah, I could see that, but I could see that selling out at 2,000 then. If they did guarantee a numbered Caitlin Clark auto, a numbered, Prism parallel, or an auto per box, I think it would have went at that 2,000. I mean, between our two ideas, Mike, it might have sold at, what was the high? 3,500?
3,000.
3,000. It would have sold at 3,000 if you combine both of those ideas.
Well, speaking along those lines, the Mercury Wembanyama set has been out for a while now, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to look at it. Dustin, the sports card dad, did a video last week about it and some of the high early prices from that. But it's amazing seeing where some of the prices were at when he did that video. Just like 5 days later, I think I watched it and I, shared with him like some of the other sales. There was a parallel out of 15. I forget what the funny name of the parallel was, but it sold for like $3,000 or something like that. And the two after that sold for like 1,100 and 800. And like, they have, like, I was looking at that, they have parallels for every card in that set. And then I started looking at the RPAs. They have multiple different RPA cards, like different photos, different card numbers. I looked it up right now as of October 20th when I looked these up. You need
yesterday.
to pull.
You looked it up yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yesterday.
You need to pull an RPA numbered to 10 or less to make back your money or more on the price. That's the $8,000, the release price of it. Now, I know you get other cards in the set too, but the only cards that you get, the one card that is worth what you paid for, you need at least an out of 10 RPA. And those are only selling for like right around that $9,000. You have to get an out of 5 to actually make a profit on it. And there are multiple RPAs numbered out of 10. There aren't only 10 RPAs out of 10. There are, I don't know how many different versions they have, but there are multiples of 10 numbered out of 10. It's crazy. Like, this is one of the biggest ruses in all of hobby history, the biggest cash in on a name, and they're ruining the value. Yep. He's never going to have an RPA that's worth like what a normal RPA would be worth. Rant over.
You're preaching to the choir.
I'm going to hand the rant off to you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now. It's going to dilute Wemby cards for sure. And, you know, kind of reminds me of everyone losing their mind on a much, much smaller scale. Everyone losing their mind about Marvel Metal Avengers, right? It's like, oh, this product should be, you know, the boxes should be double what they are because of look at what all you get out of them. The flip side of that is you get so much out of them, so what you get is not worth crap. Like, you would need to pull the top character, you know, Dr. Doom out of 10 to make your money back. That's the same thing here. I mean, when you're talking about a player who, granted, he is going to be the next big thing for sure. That being said, when every single one of his cards has a parallel and he's pretty much the entire set, what did you think was going to happen? Of course, the prices are going to go.
He's not pretty much the entire set.
He is
literally,
the entire set. There are some dual cards, right? I think is
right.
what.
Yeah, but he's on all of them.
Player, but he's on all of the cards, right? And actually, as we were talking about this, and I don't know if I brought him up before as a possibility, but while we think Shohei will probably be the next one, as we were talking about diluting the autographs, I really think LeBron James could be the next one or one of the next ones. And my God, him and like Jordan are the two guys. It's like, oh, you get their auto. Holy crap. That's a big deal. I think LeBron may be the next one. They dilute his autographs because now if I'm a Wemby collector, if I'm a straight up Wemby collector, I'm kind of cool with it because I don't have to buy that $8,000 box.
Right.
I can just wait and get a RPA out of, I'm guessing they have out of 99 or whatever. I can wait and pick up one of those for half the cost of the box that I would have paid for the box down the road. I mean, why wouldn't I? I mean, wait until the season's over, wait until, you know, the basketball buzz is down, and then just go after a card like that if you're a Wemby collector. If you spent $8,000 on these boxes or more, weren't they going for like $15,000 at one point, somewhere around there?
Market. Yeah.
Could you imagine opening up a $15,000 pack of cards and pulling an out of 10 Wemby RPA and still losing money? Crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, there's so much here. First off, listening to Mojo Breaks podcast, and I didn't listen to the entire podcast, but they started out talking about the Mercury product and the secondary, the prices on the secondary market of the cards, and they were all freaking out about how low the prices were because they have been obviously they're breakers, so they're talking it up and saying it was probably a really good value, $8,000, and then so they're talking about don't people grade cards, and like they were trying to like making excuses about the prices. When I think we talked about like this is what we kind of talked about. This is what's going to happen, and so I wasn't at all surprised by that. I did have something I wanted to riff off of Joe's, but I can't remember what it is. If we just flirted out of my mind, but what I do want to say, as much as you were saying about the LeBron being the next one, do we 5 years from now look back at this as just a blip, a bump in the road? Do you think they still make it? You think people?
Yes.
I mean, do you think people buy it next year after what's happened to the prices? Do you think people buy it next year? You think people buy it next year, though?
Amnesia is a real thing in this hobby. Again,
Yes.
the cyclical nature of how cards are, people seem to forget it every single time. New product comes out, pre-order. Oh, buzz starts going up. Oh, people are starting to order stuff and it's coming in and they're starting to see what comes out of it. Oh, now it's at its fever pitch. And then all of a sudden it crashes over and over. And it happens every single product.
Oh, I got to get that.
Something new came out. Oh, this is the one. This is the one that'll never come down.
Exactly.
And then boom. And it's just this amnesia that collectors and hobbyists and investors have in these products.
That's what I remember what I was going to say. You said about how this is going to be good for Wemby collectors. I'm saying, yes, it's good for Wemby collectors, but it's not good for Wemby collectors in air quotes. Like the Wemby investors, like this is terrible, but people actually want to collect the cards. Like, go ahead, make some more autos so I can get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I wouldn't be surprised if they do Shohei next year, which that's almost a fait accompli, right? I mean, it's going to be Shohei next year.
I would think were they talking about doing CJ Stroud? That's a bad idea if they're going to do it.
Yeah. But I mean, whoever it is, if it's $8,000 this year, it's not going to be $8,000 next year. They could do Jaden Daniels. That would be a big one. It's not going to be $8,000 next year. It's going to be more. They're going to see what it sold for in the secondary market, and they're going to adjust accordingly. And then it'll go up on the secondary market, and then it's again another vicious cycle of the hobby.
Yeah. And remember, people buy Donruss football every year and get all excited about the rated rookies and everything out of that. And then that usually tanks. But did you see you can buy Costco Donruss football bundles this year?
I did not see this.
I've heard
about come with a jumbo downtown card. Each one of these, they're kind of like the super box they do for Topps baseball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Donruss football, they have a jumbo downtown, same exact design as the regular downtown card. People were selling these on eBay and getting hundreds of dollars. They're one in every one of these boxes. They were getting hundreds of dollars, and I think they're down. They're way down. Honestly, they're like a $10 card probably, right? For Jaden Daniels or the top ones. But yeah, huge. Like it's the hobby. This is the hobby. I saw a picture of a guy with a cart at Costco filled twice the height of the cart and like from front to back with these things. Like I saw another person on Twitter who apparently bought these to get back into the hobby. Bad decision, but bought like over $1,000 worth of these. And his claim was that he opened them and they had already been opened, that somebody bought them and took them back to Costco, and Costco wrapped them back up and resold them. I don't know if this is true or not, but he was like tagging Costco and everything in the tweets he had about it. He had,
or he did it.
Maybe he did.
This is our hobby, folks. Or
but he said that the people at Costco, he said he took them back and told them what happened and said to them, make sure that these don't get like sold again. And supposedly the manager or whoever was there said, well, we can't guarantee that they won't be put back out. But I don't know whether that's true or not. Just be careful out there. If you're hearing about the hype for the Costco Donruss, don't fall into it, and be careful if you do. Make sure they're not opened. Like, it's Donruss. It is Donruss. And come on with the downtowns. Like they have. Now, I understand why they print the crap out of these. They're making as much money as they can, right? They only have the license for another year. They're going to make as much money as they can. Like, this stuff is not going to be worth it. Trust me, I'm from the 90s. I saw stuff that was worth a lot of money, and then over time, people went, holy crap, they made a lot of those, and then they weren't worth as much money. There's a lot of parallels between stuff today and a lot of the stuff in the 90s. But wow, with the downtowns and the Costco stuff, people, please don't.
This makes it even weirder. People hate oversized cards.
Yeah,
people hate oversized cards.
What are you gonna do?
You cannot give oversized cards away. Like PSA, I think grades them now, but like still, like I'm sorry if you think that the downtowns that are oversized box toppers are going to hold value. You are nuts. Like they're not going to hold value because they're printed to oblivion, but also they're oversized. You guys know I collect Patrick Stewart autographs. I think you've heard this before. And I'll make trades sometimes from time to time with other collectors, and I'll be like, oh, these are the doubles I have, and they're like, oh, I don't want any of the oversized ones. Like, that's a thing. Like, you can sell them, sure, but I mean, at the end of the day, people generally don't like them, so that's going to be an issue. And if that story is true about Costco, this is what it's not the same exact thing, EP, but this is what makes me nervous about GameStop. These are folks that aren't card people. So it kind of makes me nervous when not card people are doing card stuff. Well, it makes me nervous when card people are doing card stuff at this point anymore either. But
it might be better, actually.
Yeah. But, you have the situation where someone's like, oh, I'm just going to return these. And Costco doesn't know any better. They're like, oh, okay. It's just like returning a shirt. And then here we are. I mean, people potentially scamming, opening up these things, pulling the downtown out, and then returning them.
I had to scramble to get a piece of paper and write stuff down so I wouldn't forget. First off, Trust Me, I'm from the 90s is a t-shirt that we need to make and sell on the channel. And
that's a good one.
Each of us need one of those to wear next time we go to a card show.
That's I like that. I like that a lot.
And oversized cards, like I opened up a case of Allen and Ginter back in 2012, and each one of the boxes came with an oversized card. So everybody take a drink. But yeah, so I mean, I still have all of them. I haven't even. They're probably a pain to ship. Like, so I still have all of them just because, like, you don't know, like they're weird, right? But there are collectors out there for them. You just need to find them. But the market is not. You're not going to find. Not going to be unless you have something extremely rare with autographs and crazy stuff. You're not going to be able to sell it for much. And then the last thing I want to talk about is this is not quite the same, but it's kind of adjacent to talking about the 90s. Like, you go to Kmart, Walmart, they'd have all these different like box sets, all this. You could find cards were everywhere. You could find them at every grocery store, but not like this. Costco, what's going on? Not like, this is not what this. I wanted us to have that where we had the box set stuff, but not like this. I don't understand.
Didn't Costco used to sell like pallets of cards? Wasn't that a thing back in the last few years? I think they sold pallets of junk wax, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I get into that.
Real quick, as your mind was going about the t-shirt, now my mind's going like, what we need to think of what like 3 cards epitomize junk wax in the 90s and put homage versions of them on the shirt. I think that's the key. That's the ticket. Like, very screen crushy, put like homages of those and say, we're from the 90s, trust us, or something like that. I think that would be fantastic.
Trying to get me sued is what you're doing.
No, we're doing the screen crush thing. It's what do they call it? It's not an homage.
Parody.
They call it parody. Yeah, let's do some parody. Boom, handled.
Find me a graphic artist to like make parodies of those famous cards. And
I'll work on that.
Then we can talk. Yeah.
Do we have any viewers of the channel that are graphic artists who would want to do that for us? That'd be awesome. For free, obviously. But yeah, comment down below.
Yeah, stop sending us cards.
Do this graphic art for us.
Just FYI, people are rushing out to take their Donruss cards back to Costco.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
We are influencers. That's 3 times that we've caused a mad rush. By the way, Topps has confirmed that the U.S. Olympic triple auto has not been redeemed yet. So. Somebody lost a lot of money not getting that card when they should have. Yep. EP, you're probably going to be really excited about this one because you love Topps. You love Topps Chrome. You are like Fanatics' #1 fan down there. But at the New York Comic Con this past weekend, they gave out a promo card. Do you know what it is? Did you see? V Friends Topps Chrome. It's happening.
Get a case.
It's happening.
Listen, all I know is my buddy Rob, our photographer at our paper, big card guy, do a podcast with him. When I don't know what is going on outside today. I'm sorry, guys.
Meanwhile,
people are rushing to New York City to get the V Friends promo card.
Meanwhile, I'll listen back to the podcast and I don't hear them. So it just
really?
thinks it makes you think we're crazy. Like, no, there's really noises behind us. Yeah.
But yeah, so like when I gave him the card to give to his daughter, she's like, "Oh, I love this," and I don't know if it was because if she actually knew what it was or what. But I mean, who knows? This is not for me. Why? I don't understand why you would even think that I would get a case of this.
Sounds like an EP
Chrome.
product.
Sounds like an EP product.
I'm not a Topps Chrome guy. That's Joe.
You don't even know which one's which at this point. Put that in the beer.
Don't even know which one is which. Well, we'll see how many of those young kids have fun paying what, $300 a box for it. What does it get cost?
Topps Chrome.
That's gonna be more than 300, isn't it?
Probably. Well, once collectors get a hold of it, because it's such a popular product in the hobby.
Right,
Joe.
Right.
If you sketch if anybody's breaking this, if you watch a break of this, you need to let us know immediately.
I will absolutely let you know if I see a break of V Friends. That might be my limit, guys. I love watching breaks. That might be my limit. I found it. I found the limit.
All right. I'm going to wrap up this week with one other little tidbit I saw on Twitter. Somebody showed a picture of a Beckett graded card. It had apparently not been stored properly, but the sleeve inside had disintegrated. Now, you could tell by looking at the slab, again, it wasn't really stored properly, but it kind of blew my mind that the sleeve just wasn't in there anymore. Like, how is that a thing? I don't know. That, like, my mind can't process what I was looking at. I don't know how this happens. I feel like it shouldn't happen, even if it's not stored properly. Or what level do you have to store it not properly to have this happen?
Like, was it out in the sun all week, all year, all month? I mean, like,
for years, it must have been
years. Yeah. Like, I can't wrap my head around that. I will say this though, like, I get so buying some of the cards that are still sealed from Rittenhouse for my collection. Some of them have sleeves on the card. Some of them don't, which is kind of wild. But some of them are sleeved, and I always look at those and I'm like, man, the sleeve is starting to look a little like, you know how old sleeves get when they've been in the same top loader for a while. They get kind of ruffled a little bit. And I'm like, I prefer the card to be sealed like that, but I don't love the fact that it's in a sleeve from like 15 years ago. Like, I don't know. I'm a worrywart though, so it might just be me. But apparently not though. I mean, if sleeves are disintegrating before our very eyes, I'd love to see a time lapse video of this.
That'd be great,
right?
Yep. All of my comments most of them will come in the form of questions. Now, I would need to know, like, what is not stored correctly? What does that mean to you, Mike? Like, what do you think happened to this card? That's the way how the not stored correctly. I haven't seen this card myself, so I don't know. I can only imagine in my brain what it looks like.
It definitely looked like it was in the sun.
Okay,
it looked like the card looked like it. I mean, it was not the greatest pictures in the world, but yeah, I think the sun. It was in a lot of sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would guess.
Plastic is matter. It's a material. So if it disintegrated completely, what happened to it?
Where did it
go? Is it now infused into the card? Like, what? I mean, what?
That's actually a good question. Probably is.
So what happened to the plastic in there? And then it makes you wonder the future of graded cards in general. We've talked about this before. Like, what happens? 100 years from now, are these cards going to still be safe in these cases, these plastic cases? I mean, obviously the sleeves are super thin, or not super thin. I'm not sure what they look like or how thin they are, but in theory, it's a lot thinner than the bigger cases, the actual cases. What happens to those cases in 100 years, whether they're stored well or not stored well? Like, what happens? Like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? What's going to happen?
Maybe they disintegrate. Won't that be a bite in the ass for all those people?
Then you won't have to track them out anymore.
I put this in the ball and I took it out, and now there's nothing there. Just the card. What happened?
I think it still holds its grade, though. It's a guarantee, right? PSA guarantees.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But you do bring up a good point, EP. Like, I've often wondered, like, I've said this before too, where like I was coming from the I don't love that cards are just up against hard plastic to move around like that. Peyton, I will be showing on 3 cards in a few days. That Peyton that is, you can just go like this with it, and it just go. It's a thinner card. You know, we talk about Pro Set and Score and some of these other cards, and they just move around these cases. At what point do these cases damage the cards more than protect them? I like, this is a very exaggerated example of it, but maybe not. Maybe it just it made the process go a little bit quicker. But at the end of the day, this is the process. This is what will happen to that card eventually, or that case eventually. Who knows?
Yeah, that my last question, kind of along those lines. Like, and I think Mike even said it too. Like, how long did this take? Like, when was this graded, and how long did it sit out? Like, well, I mean, I want to know that situation too. If this was like a week in the sun, then holy crap.
I also want to know what card it was. Like, I need to know the card.
I didn't look close enough to see what that was, but yeah. Well, that was pretty fun chat, I think. I don't know. Anybody have anything else? I think I'm done.
No, I think so too.
Done? I was done at the beginning.
Wait,
are we all done? Are we done now?
Now we are done. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It was a good chat this week. I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
Adios.